Okay, TLCers, welcome back. This particular video is going to teach you two things. First, it's going to teach you how to better manage the content of your active MyConnect site that you use with your students. And you are also going to model it so that you can give me a page for your TLC showcase artifacts that you're going to submit. So let's get started. One of the hard things with MyConnect is that you're essentially becoming a web designer, and if you're not super good with keeping a visual picture in your head of where things are connected, it can become very overwhelming. So as we look at the sidebar of a typical TLC course, or a typical MyConnect course, we have items that are dark, and those are visible to people, and then items that are grayed out, and that's because they're hidden for our students. And I will show you how to hide them. Now, in order to organize a course, what I do is I do something called create a site map for every course that I make. And so in essence, I'm doing a backwards design. So when I start with a course, the first thing I do is I start with a front page. And in this case, this is the front page of our TLC. And then I think about what subpages do I want off of this front page. So in this case, a subpage would be our session learning, and then another subpage would be a link to our gradebook, and another subpage would be our TLC expectations. And so these are all subpages, but to keep that organized in my brain and then to know how they all linked becomes overwhelming. So I'm going to organize using modules. I do not show modules to anybody because modules are for me. They're my way of organizing the site. So I click on module. This is what I would like you guys to do on a course that you've selected that you will be using to showcase for me your applied learning. And the first thing that I do in my modules is I create a module called General Site Layout with Subpages, or General Site Layout, or General Docs. You can name it whatever you want. No one ever sees this title but you. So the clearer you are for your own understanding, the better it is. So to make a new module, you would click the blue module button and then type it in. General, I'll call this one just General Pages. And then I'm going to add that. Now what it'll do is, because I have modules already, it's going to put it at the very bottom. What I like to do is drag that module up to the very top, because then I can work with it directly. Now this is key. Are you listening? Hello? Are you listening? This is key. You must click the little gray cloud and publish this module, because if you don't, then anything you put in this module is hidden to the students. So the very first thing I'm going to have you add to your general page module is the first page of your course site. So it needs to be published, otherwise you're going to call me in a panic. So take a minute and get that done. Okay, now that you've got your module made and it's published, I'm going to show you how to add your front page. You're going to click the plus sign next to the module title, and you're going to see a new window that asks, oh, what do you want to add to that module? In this case, I want to add a content page. Because my front page is already built, all I have to do is remember, oh shoot, what did I name it? So in my case, I named it Home. However, some of you may not remember what you named it, so in this case what you would want to do is cancel, and then click on your Home button, go ahead and from the front page click Edit, and take note of what you named it. Okay, so I named mine Welcome, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cancel, come back to my modules, click back on the plus sign next to General Pages, go back to adding a content page, and look for Welcome in my list. Now, welcome may not be in alphabetical order, so you have to kind of look around. So there it is, and I hit add. And now welcome is published as well as the course module is published. Now you say, well, Stacy, wait a minute, you've already done that and you have welcome down there a second time. Is that going to cause problems? No, because this is just a site map. This is like a table of content. You can repeat pages however you need to. So a little example that I like to do is notice here in my example, if you were to click on welcome, you're going to go to my first page. Now most people don't like modules because kids have figured out they can go next and then next, and they move their way through the content that is in that module. And you say, well, I don't want them to see that. So what I do to prevent them is I have a little trick. And you're going to see that little trick here in a moment as I hit next. And it should take me back here in a moment. I added obviously a lot of stuff to that. Well, let's just go there and I'll show you. I'm going to go back to modules. What I do is, I'm going to delete this one. And you say, you're going to delete it? You don't delete it, you remove it, and it simply removes it from your table of content. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add my welcome again. So I end it with welcome, which is my front page. And when they get done with this particular assignment and they click next again, well, it just takes them back to the front. And so I can then control their access of my course content without using the navigation buttons on the left. So let's just go back to this student collecting work. So we have two items. So I go next, takes me to the attendance page that I made. I go next, and boom, you're back to the front again. So when you use modules, you can do a couple little tricks to keep kids from escaping. You can go ahead and also set the parameters on this module. Let's hit edit. So you can say, they must complete something before they go on. Now again, I never release this content to them because it's a table of content for me. So I should see in the course that you're going to submit to me, and notice my course up here has a number at the end of it. You're going to be submitting to me the course and the course number in an assignment in our TLC. So I am going to go look at your course. I'm going to click on modules. I'm going to hope that you have a general pages, and I'm going to hope that your first page is in there. And that will demonstrate to me that you at least know how to make modules. Now you're going to add one more page to this, and that is our TLC practice site. So you don't have currently in here a practice page. So to add a page, most of you go over here to the pages button. Never touch this again. Always use your modules. So I'm going to go to my general pages. I'm going to go ahead and hit add a content page. This time it's going to be a new page, and I want you to call it TLC Practice. And then I like to indent. I'm a little anal, so anything off of a main page is going to be represented. Any subpages would be indented off of my main page. Now, if you publish this, it's no big deal. Kids would click next and they might see it. Or if you don't want to publish it because you're worried about that, then don't. I can look at it either way. I just want to make sure that I have a page that I can look at. Okay, so that's the end of this little tutorial, and we can talk more about this in session 2, so bring your questions.